Shooting It Straight, episode number 1, July 1st, 2025.
Bam, son! This is Shooting It Straight, the podcast where life lessons don't come sugar-coated and excuses get benched.
I'm Randy Black, podcast guy, professional question asker, and apparently the only one here who doesn't yell "Bam, son" in public.
Well, we're working on that, Randy. I'm Jim Clayton, coach, mentor, motivator, and the guy who still thinks a whistle may be the best motivational tool known to man.
Each week, we're taking what Jim's learned from the court, the drills, the discipline, the drive, and translating it into real-world success.
That's right. This ain't just about basketball. It's about showing up when life presses full court. It's about pushing through when the clock's ticking down.
If you're looking for fluff, well, you might just want to ride the bench.
We're here to help you believe bigger, achieve louder, and motivate stronger. So buckle up, and whatever you do, keep shooting it straight. Bam, son!
This is episode number 1 of Shooting It Straight. I'm Randy Black, joined by my co-host,
Jim Clayton.
Jim Clayton. Great name to hear if you know anything about basketball, and he's finally doing it. He's finally getting a podcast going. So we're going to take some time here on our debut episode to kind of go through and outline why it is we're doing this show. What is the reasoning for it? But before we do that, anybody who might be new, I'm sure there's a lot of people listening who know Jim, but don't know me. There might be some people listening that know me, but don't know Jim. We're going to take a minute to kind of introduce ourselves, give our background info so you kind of know where it is we're coming from on this. So I'm going to throw to Jim and let him kind of talk for a minute about himself, because I know he loves to talk a little bit.
Oh, gosh, I hear you, buddy. Well, again, this is just something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. People have asked me, Coach, you need to write a book. You need to do this. So this is going to be like my first stage to get into that book. Okay, so, the things that I've learned, the lessons I've learned along the way. I've been an educator for 40 years in Cabell County. I taught high school, started a little elementary school out of East Lynn Elementary. Then I moved to Huntington East in 1980, coached there, shut the school down in 96, moved to Huntington High, was there through about 2008, and then went to Cabell Midland and finished up there. So I've been in the thick of things, in the trenches with the students, really getting to the guts of what it's all about. And so the things that I've learned is along the way is, what can I do to help make everybody better? See, it's all about what can you do to help somebody else. It's not really about me. It's not about you. It's about what can you do to make somebody else better? Because really, when you do that, at the end of the day, when you put your head down on the pillow, man, you've got a real sense of satisfaction, and it happens every day for me. It doesn't happen for everybody else, but it happens every day for me because I make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the key to the deal. Yeah. And, I've coached all over the world. I started my business in 1992 in Huntington. So I've been around for a few decades. Learned a lot along the way. Didn't have a business model to follow. I just learned through trial and just figuring it out. And that's what a lot of people need to learn how to do, because everything's not going to be handed to them right in their lap. Okay, here's what you do. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I had to learn through trial and error, learn through experience. And I learned along the way, one of the biggest lessons that I probably didn't know, especially being in education, is that failure and success are not opposites.
Mm-hmm.
They run side by side every day down the road. And you can't have really great success without some form of, or many forms of failure.
Do you remember my fortune cookie?
Oh, yeah.
Failure is feedback, and
yeah.
feedback is the breakfast of champions.
That's right. That's exactly right. But see, in today's world, in the old school world, the dinosaur world where I grew up, that's how people learn. In today's world, it's kind of opposite, because kids think failure is like, oh my gosh, they don't know you're going to learn from it. Everything's based like it. Here's how I know that, through my experiences. When you ask a player, how did you do? They go, we won, we lost. And I said, that's not what I asked you. I said, how did you do? And they say, well, I did pretty good. But you see, they forget how good they did because they just think everything's based on winning and losing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I come with this question. This is the one I come with right afterwards. I say, is it possible for you to play a good game and your team not win? Yep. I said, well, see, then don't be so hard on yourself. Now, when all 4 of your other players play really good, you're going to have a good team win.
Yep.
And, so I've been through that segment. I've worked for Nike. I've traveled all over the world, done Nike speaking tours with them, met some fabulous people and coaches all over the world. I wouldn't change that for anything.
Met some pretty famous basketball players as well.
Made some players along the way, too. You know what I mean?
Look, I've seen that picture of you and Michael Jordan hanging on the wall.
Yeah. Now, that was probably the best of the best, but I'd already been a little bit. Oh, he is the best of the best. Let me clear that up real quick.
Yeah.
But I've been with some other NBA teams before I really got connected with him. I was with the Nets, New Jersey Nets. That's when they had Kenny Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They had Drazen Petrovic, Sam Bowie. They had Ramil Robinson. They had some really, really good players. And then I was with the Portland Trailblazers, and they had Clyde Drexler, Terry Porter.
Mm-hmm.
They had a heck of a team over there, too. Buck Williams back in the old school days from Maryland. So I got to do all that kind of stuff. And, and that's kind of the gist of how all this came together. And, I never really was. I guess I just was an upbeat type of person. I never thought myself as a motivational person.
Mm-hmm.
But I got into, motivation. I said, do I want to be a motivated person where I motivate you one day and then the next day you can't remember what I told you? Or do I want to be somebody that leads you and helps you and mentors you so that you don't forget it and you can use it every day in your life and help make your life better? So I chose the second one. So I said, if I'm going to be good at this, I got to get with the best. If you want to be the best, you got to get with the best. So I got with my buddy named John Maxwell.
Yep.
He's the leadership guru of the world. If you don't know John Maxwell, then you don't really know a whole lot about leadership. He's only written about 100 bestsellers.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went down and trained with him and learned and got, the best of the best, and still use all that stuff. Every day I listen to him say something. And it don't matter how many times I've heard him say certain things. If he says the same thing over again, somehow I get a different vibe off of it, and because, learning is a lifelong skill. And there's an old saying that says, it's what you learn after you think you know it all that counts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how many people think they know it all? Well, there's a lot of people out there with that. So, that's kind of my background information of how I put all this together. And, I've always wanted to do it. And really the last thing I'm going to say on this is a great story. And this is how I got the idea to do it. I didn't come up with it. And I was reading a story about this grocery store. And they had 3 or 4 lines of people in there, like your grocery store. Well, all of a sudden, everybody's in this one line. The cashier's ever going, hey, I will take you over here. We don't want to get in that line. So they're looking like, why do they not want to get in that line? Well, there's a little boy that was bagging groceries, and that was when it was brown paper bags, not plastic. And every time he'd bag a grocery, he put little words of wisdom in that thing, like your fortune, like a fortune cookie. And they were in there wanting to get that fortune for today. I'm thinking to myself, man, that is cool. What if I did that? So instead of talking myself out of it like most people do, I didn't know anything about a computer. I couldn't type, cut and paste, couldn't do anything. So I got one of my boys in class. I said, well, you going to help me do this? He goes, yeah, I'll help you. So I gave him the first quote. And we did 25 on the first page. So I cut it out, little squares, put it in my pocket. Well, I ran the cafeteria. And so I just got them in there. They're all on their lines, getting ready to eat. And I go, yeah, you want to hear the word for today? Yeah, Coach, what's the word? I'd hand them one of those little strips. They go, well, that's cool. I said, well, use it. So the next day, they want to know the word of the day. So that 25 went to 50, went to 75, went to 100, got up to 500 or 600 a day I was passing out. And then I started thinking, man, I could do this a whole lot. Because that was before social media.
Mm-hmm.
So now I've kind of taken the same thing and turned it a little bit. Now you don't have to be in the line in the cafeteria to get the word for the day. You can get it every day.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to help share that even to a bigger audience.
Yeah.
And what I found out is, which I'm sure you know, A lot of people need to hear positive vibes every day.
Yes.
And when I send those things
I'll talk about that in a second.
Oh, yeah. And I send that stuff out, and they send that back and go, Coach, I needed to hear that today. Thanks for sharing that, Coach. I needed that today. And I go, if it helps one person, to me, it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth it. I don't worry about 100,000 people, one person. That's the key. And that's how the whole thing kind of started. Yeah. And that's how I met you. I was doing a motivational speech at Teen Institute.
And we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
So my background info, like Jimmy, I was an educator. I still work in education, but I'm not in the classroom. I haven't been in the classroom for over 10 years now. And I tell people I miss it because I miss the kids. I miss the interaction with the students. When you teach a student something, and it's so cliche to use it, but it's so true, that light bulb that goes off above their head, when you see that happen, when those eyes get big because they've got it, that jaw drops because they're so just caught off guard by something, that feeling is the best feeling in the world. I know you know it. I know it. Anybody who's ever taught in a classroom and had success knows it. That feeling, I miss that.
100%.
I still work in education. I was a teacher. I taught social studies, mostly history, some geography, sociology. I loved sociology. I loved teaching that course. I was in a classroom for 6 years, and then I slid into the tech side in education, was a tech coach for about 2.5 years at Huntington Middle and Cabell County schools here in West Virginia, and left Cabell County and went to Putnam County, worked in the technology department in Putnam County for another 2.5 years or so before I left. And I lived in Wayne County at the time, and the high school that I graduated from, Spring Valley High School, had a position open, and I went back there, stayed there for about 8 months, and realized I needed to move on because it was not the fit for me, and went back to Cabell County, worked there at Huntington High, made connections back with people that I knew because I did my student teaching in 2004 at Huntington High, and I went back in 2019, and the first person I saw in the hallway after I got in and got acquainted, back to the building, everything, was the guy I did my student teaching with, Bruce Sr. And Bruce turned and looked at me, and he pointed at me and said, "I told you you'd be back." And I laughed because he was right. And it was a fit. I enjoyed it. It was a stressful job handling technology for that building. Huntington High is the 4th biggest school in the state of West Virginia in population. One person handling technology for that whole building was rough. And I had other things going on in life, and I had to move on from it. But I'm back in Putnam County, still working in education, working in technology. I'm trying my best to make a difference every day. I still get those interactions though with the kids every once in a while. And I have those, and I leave the situation smiling. I feel good because I know that I have had an impact on that kid. I've taught him something. I've showed him something he didn't know about. Something has hit, and it's made a difference. And that's what it's all about. It's about making the difference. I've been in podcasting now for about a decade, been involved in the space. I can't say I've had success. I had moderate things happen in podcasting, but it's allowed me to make connections with people that I never thought I'd have connections with, people that I can reach out to and go, "Hey, I've ran into this problem. Can you give me an idea? Can you kind of guide me along the way and help me get there with what I'm doing in podcasting?" And it's been amazing. It's been great. People I never thought I'd ever talk to in my life, like Adam Curry. Adam Curry is the guy that invented podcasting. He's the podfather. He's the
goat. He's the goat.
He is. He won't say he is now. He used to. Now he says that because he's had changes in his life, now he says that God just guided him to it, to find a way to get messages out in a new way. That's how he sees it now. Never in my wildest dreams would I think I'd ever exchange messages or through Telegram or email or even talk to the guy, and I've had that opportunity.
Don't underestimate yourself.
Thank you.
And see, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
We sat in this room in July of 2018.
How about that one? Now,
and recorded an episode for one of the podcasts I did at the time where we talked about things that Jimmy has done in his teaching career, working at the schools, working here at Sports City U, his business, and how that has impacted things and impacted lives and things and the way his mindset has worked and changed and grown over time. Great podcast. You can actually find it on YouTube if you search for The Randall Black Show, Jimmy Clayton. You'll find it. It's still up. It's archived on YouTube right now. It's not available anywhere else though, but it's out there. And we had a fantastic time. And at that time, we sat here, and somebody looked across the table from me and said, "I'm gonna start a podcast." Well, we've done it 7 years later almost. So it took a little while, but we got it going. We've got it going.
That's why I got you. To see, I had to get a guy that knew what to do, that knew how to do everything.
Yeah.
And this is the guy. This is the guy. And, you know, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be sitting there doing this. Yeah. So, I mean, all the kudos go out to him. I mean, because, I mean, really, it's really weird how things happen.
Yeah.
But I always believe that things happen for a reason.
Oh, yes.
And I don't always know the reason. And I'm not trying to I don't even try to figure it out. I just go with the fact that this is what I believe. We're blessed to be here. This is going to be a cool experience. We're going to share stuff with you guys that's going to blow your mind. And it's going to help you. So and that's the whole key to everything.
Oh, yeah. So, you know, the idea is that we came together because we got to know each other. You know, Jimmy mentioned earlier, the very first time I met Jim Clayton, I was a sophomore in high school. So that would have been 1995, 96, probably in that range. I was attending CK High School, Cerrito Canova High School. It doesn't exist anymore. And we had a teen institute. And at the teen institute, I remember this guy came in and was talking about things. And he was the most, I can't tell you exactly what he talked about, but he was the most positive, upbeat, energetic guy I had ever listened to. And I remembered that. And it didn't go away. It stuck with me. Come 2004, I get my placements to do my student teaching. And that second half of student teaching, I was at Huntington High School. And every day at lunch, I had the opportunity to sit down and eat lunch with Jim Clayton. And I got to know the man that I remembered from that event taking place when I was a youngster. And we struck up. I can't say at the end it was a friendship, but we knew each other. We talked to each other every day for the time I was there. And then there was a break and we didn't see each other until I took a job teaching at Cabell Midland High School. And at the same time, Jim got transferred to Cabell Midland High School. And we had the opportunity for a couple years to work together in the same building. And I can remember walking in to the office, front of the building, to Mrs. Daniels' office. And Jim's there and he's talking about something. He's like, I don't know how to do it. I need help with it. And she looks at me and I look at him and I go, let's go. And we went back to his classroom and I helped him look at the thing, get an idea what he was doing, try to help him get started with it. And from that point on,
I didn't know anything about anything.
Yeah. And I can say from that point on, I knew I had a friend that if I needed something, I could reach out and go, hey, I need some help, Jim. Can you help me? And it's been that way. You know, when I was doing that podcast, I reached out and I said, hey, let's sit down and talk. What do you think? And he's like, okay, let's do it. And we were able to take it and I turned it into 2 episodes of that show because we were able to talk for a little while and get a great conversation going and share some great info. So we've come together because Jim's wanted to do a podcast. He's wanted to talk about these things. And I reached out to him several months ago because Jim's had some health issues that, you know, I didn't realize were going on. And when I found out, the first thing it is, I reached out to him and I said, hey, I just want to check on you, make sure you're doing okay. He said, I'm good. I said, well, I'm going to come by and see you. And I stopped in here at Sports City U because we are currently upstairs. We are in what I'm going to officially dub today on the show, the Sports City U podcast studio upstairs here in the building. And I stopped in to check on him and talk with him. And, you know, I don't hide it. I'm a Christian. I have a very strong belief in God, and I believe God has the ability to touch individuals and heal them and take care of them. And we stood right out here in the middle of this court, my arm around Jim, hugging him, and I prayed for him right there.
You did. I'll never forget that, ever.
And since then, he's had some good news with things. Things are getting better. Things are looking better. He's on the mend. Things are going good. But that day, he told me, I want to start a podcast. He's like, I want to do it. I want you to help me. I said, okay, let me think about some stuff and we'll get to it. And it took us a little while.
It doesn't matter.
But we got to it. We got back to it. And we sat down for a couple evenings and we talked about things and worked our way through it. And we were maybe 30 minutes into that second night talking. And I said, you're ready.
Let's go.
You've got the topics. You've got the ideas. Let's start looking at things and let's get ready to go. And that's why we're here today. We've come together because, like, I'm not a sports guy in any way at all. I coached football for a couple years because I was helping out a friend. It's one of those things. It was a school I was teaching at the time. I'm not a sports guy, so I don't have those lessons like Jim has from the court that he's used all these years and teaching people the game and teaching them not just about the game, though, taking that and applying it to life and how they could be a better person by what they're learning there. I'm here because I'm the tech guy. I'm keeping the tech going. I'm making sure the recordings are good. I'm the editor, so I'm going to edit this together, make sure it sounds good, get it all posted online, ready to go. And I might be a guardrail in a way because sometimes Jim talks and you got to keep him going. But we're here because he has stuff he wants to share, stuff he wants to tell everybody about.
100%. And I'm going to tell you something. Hey, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. So it's always a two-way street. It's not a one-way street.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not the general patent rule, my way or the highway. It's a two-way street. Okay, and like I said, the things that he's really good at, I'm not very good at. Some of the things I'm really good at, he might not be really good at. But so some things we're sharing, he can take it and use it in his life.
Mm-hmm.
And then the stuff he's sharing with me, I can take it. Not very far, but I can take it and use some of the stuff in my life, especially tech stuff. Because I'm not really like super novice, but I just don't have any patience.
Yeah.
And tech doesn't like me. It works fine till I need it, then it breaks.
Yeah.
And that drives me crazy. But I ain't worried about that. You know what I mean? We're here. We're going to make it happen. We're going to make some cool stuff happen. We're going to have some great guests.
Mm-hmm.
We got some great topics to talk about. And I'm pumped.
Yeah, we got an idea. Like a lot of, there's going to be times where we're sitting here and it's, Jimmy's going to come to the table and he's going to have a topic and we're going to start talking about it. He'll let me know ahead of time. I'll do some research, look into some stuff, come up with some ideas. And he and I will just sit here and shoot the breeze and go through it, talk about it and see how he takes that idea and uses it to apply it to life. And then I'm going to take those ideas and see how I might be able to do the same. So we're kind of taking two different perspectives on it to try to share that and try to help people to see that there are ways to do things in their lives that they may not expect.
And not just one way to do everything.
Exactly. There's not just one way. There's always multiple paths to get somewhere. The story I've shared with people before in the past, I mentioned her a little bit ago, Mrs. Daniels at Cabell Midland High School. Mrs. Daniels and I, to this day, get along great. If she sees me out somewhere or I see her, I'll walk up to her. She walks up to me, big hug, how you doing? Checking on me, make sure I'm okay. I make sure she's good. But we did a lot of head banging at first. We did not see eye to eye. But what happened is we both realized we had the same end goal in mind. We just had different paths to get there. And once we figured that out, we were able to communicate with each other. We could talk our way through it. So if I thought her way didn't work and she kept pushing on me about it, I was like, well, Ms. Daniels, why don't we think about this and give her that other route to look at? And she did the same thing to me. And it shows you that there's more than one way.
All roads lead somewhere. Mm-hmm. Some people just got better road maps or GPS.
Exactly.
That's kind of how I take that right there.
But we've also got people lined up. Jim's talked to some people he knows from all over. No, not just the basketball world. There's some people that are also in some other fascinating areas of life that we've got lined up that we're going to talk to at times.
Yeah, you're not even going to believe it.
Well, we're going to bring people on the show, let them, weigh in on topics or talk about things. And, some of these people, like I know we have a lady who plays professional basketball in Australia who was one of your students.
Oh, yeah, she played 16 years.
And
pro player for 16 years.
She is going to come on, and I know we'll get her to talk about what she's learned from the teaching she got playing basketball or learning that game from Jim, and how she's applied that in her life. So it's a gamut of things to talk about and look at. We don't have a very specific, we're always going to talk about this.
Nope.
We've got a lot of different ways to look at stuff. I know we've talked about, we're going to look at the idea of courage, and having courage in the game can lead to you having courage in your life that can lead to you having more success in your life because you're willing to put yourself out there. And it's stuff like that, courage, determination,
confidence.
Confidence is a big one.
Oh man. Pressure.
So we got a lot of different ideas, ways we can go with it, ways we can kind of shape the conversation to help illustrate these ideas for people who are listening. Looking to level up your basketball skills? Whether you're a young player just learning the game or a high school athlete aiming for the next level, Sports City U Basketball Academy in Hurricane, West Virginia is where your journey begins and greatness is built. From private sessions and skills camps to team development and advanced clinics, Sports City U offers a range of programs that fit your goals. So if you're ready to train with purpose, improve your game, and learn from one of the best, call 304-562-2424 to get started today. One of the big things though with this show that I want to make sure people know is that this is the vehicle for Jim. This is his vehicle. I'm along for the ride. I'll share stuff. I've got stuff that's going to be valuable. I know I do.
100%.
But this is Jim's vehicle. I'm the guy who's helping him to steer that ship. I'm the guy helping him keep the train on the rails. The guy that's making sure the roller coaster stops when it's supposed to and then goes on and gets through the loop when it needs to.
Let me tell you, that is critically important. And, it's just, you can't have one without the other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, everybody talks about this and that. Everybody talks about me, 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 me. This is not about me, 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 me.
Mm-hmm.
It's about we.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a me show. It's a we show. And there's power in numbers. When everybody's got the right agenda, they all on the right path, they got the right mindset. It's amazing what can be accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Just like the kids on the court, we're a team.
Oh, exactly.
We are a team. We're here.
The 1-2 punch, pop, pop.
We're here to work together to help get this message out, to get this information out, to have these discussions. And some of these discussions, they ultimately may not be fun. There may be some hard stuff we talk about because there's always the idea of you've got somebody you can talk about from anything, from basketball, from football to being an artist, being a musician. That the idea of you've already mentioned it, the idea of failure. That's a hard conversation to have.
100%. Same principles apply.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so same principles apply. So it's not just it only works for basketball. It doesn't work for it. No, they transfer, right into each other.
Mm-hmm.
They run parallel. The lessons you learn over here can run parallel in the game of life, and that's really what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
The game of life.
Yes.
And my motto on the game of life is today's the day, because we can't do anything about yesterday because it's history.
And we don't know what tomorrow is going to be.
Nope. So that's the future. And so today's a gift. That's why they call it the present. So we're in it right now. So we're going to make the best of it. And at 12:01, here's what I want you to understand. This is stuff you're going to learn. At 12:01 tonight, it doesn't matter if you had the best day of your life or the worst day, because you know what? It ends. And at 12:01, you're starting a new day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to start a new day dealing with what I did yesterday. Mm-hmm. That's history. It's gone. I'm going to learn from it, but I'm going to be better today.
Yeah.
And that's your attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And your attitude and your gratitude.
Oh, there we go.
That's the most important two things, baby.
There you go.
There.
We've had several Jimmyisms coming out there. It's what I call them. Some people don't. I call them Jimmyisms. Jimmy's little phrases that he puts out there. And that's another thing. Every week here on the show, we're going to have what I've dubbed it, Jim's Wisdom of the Week.
Now it's time for Jimmy's Wisdom of the Week. This is where Jimmy shares one of his famous Jimmyisms to inspire the listener.
We're going to start it off with the phrase that is, there's another way to say it. It's the brand. It is the brand. And it's this phrase right here.
Bam, son.
Bam, son. I've heard that said so many times by this man that I had to make sure that he explains what it is for those people who don't know. So, Jim, bam, son, what's that mean?
Well, I'll tell you, it's bam is a word that when somebody says, I don't care if you hear it on TV, somebody goes, bam, it just kind of gets you excited. Mm-hmm. It's a fast twitch word that, boom, it pops you up. So if you're sitting there bored of that, bam, it's going to bring you up out of your seat. Okay? It's a little different than boom. See, boom, bang. See, there's a little different than that. And so I'm thinking, okay, so bam, what's that mean? What does that mean? So I started to think about it. I started writing it down. It's one of those 3 o'clock in the morning things. I wake up at 3 o'clock a lot of times, and I've learned to have my notes and my pen and pencil right by me. because some of those are the greatest things and thoughts
yeah.
I've ever had. And if I don't write them down, I'm going to forget them because they're in my subconscious.
Yeah.
I think, I'll remember that tomorrow. No, I won't. So I wrote this down. I said, okay, what am I going to do? Bam. What's the biggest thing? Believe. Believe. If you don't believe in yourself, then don't expect anyone else to. Okay? So I said, okay, I'm going to go with believe. So what's A going to be? I said, achieve. Well, what do I want to achieve? Well, I want to achieve greatness. I want to achieve the right mindset. See, because with the right mindset, anything is possible. Because you're listening to the right side of your brain that goes, you got this, coach. You can do it. Unfortunately, we flip the coin to the left side, and that's the side that goes, no, you can't. You're a failure. You can't do it. It ain't going to happen. Nobody's going to do it. And so, see, so many people flip back and forth. I don't even turn that on my dial. I call that WEAK radio, the sound that brings you down.
Nice.
Like, I don't turn that on my dial. So I achieved the right mindset. So I believe in myself. I achieved the right mindset. And no matter what you do in life, you got to be motivated through the process. See, everybody goes through a process. And the ones that are successful, here's the difference in what they did that nobody else did. They paid the price. There's always a price you have to pay. And if you don't invest in yourself, you can't expect others to. And you got to be motivated. Now, motivation is a hard pill because it's not a natural thing.
Right.
Now, I get up every day, man. I always say your day's determined before your feet hit the floor. So when I swivel those feet and I come out of that bed, it's on. It's on. And some of y'all out there that are listening to this, you walk downstairs, your mom says, well, how's it going today? I'm tired. And you go, I'm tired. Oh, well, it'll be okay. You go to school. Hey, what's up? Man, I'm tired. I'm tired. And by the end of the day, what kind of day did you have? A tired-ass day. That's what you had. Hate to say it, but see, you believe that crap. Okay? So when you go, how you doing, man? If I was worried about me, man, it's happening. I'm having the best day ever. Ordinary man be dead. You know what I mean? So say, hey, if I was worried about me, I'm not worried about me because I've got it going on. And that's how I look at it. So I believe, I achieve, and I motivate. Now, the son part, that came a little bit later. And I got that off of, I was watching the Legends of the Bluegrass basketball. And I was just sitting there. And I was about half paying attention. And there was a guy named Billy Mike Runyon. He was a legendary coach at Paintsville High School. And there's a section in that video. He's got these boys in the locker room. And he's going, dang, son, you can't guard that boy's son. He's wearing you out, son. What are you going to do about that, son? And then I just said, bam, son. And that's how that took. And I just put it together. And it just kind of goes, bam, son. Just there it is.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that, so I met with him later. I said, I got a saying, which is kind of like my brand. I go, bam, son. And I said, I got this son from you. He goes, from me? I said, you remember that episode in the locker room? He goes, oh, yeah. So then, this is how you learn. I was at a camp here one time called my college prep camp. And I had a guy in there that was a heck of a player, Johnson Central. His name was Cole Craze. What a player. He says, Coach, we're sitting out there at half court. He goes, I don't mean to be critical, but he goes, I'm going to tell you something. If you do this, you're going to make lots of money. I said, well, okay, Mr. Big Shot. I said, show me what you got. He says, I ain't saying your face ain't whatever. He goes, but if you take your mustache and put it on a shirt and put, bam, son, you going to sell a bunch. I said, really? He said, really? And everybody in the camp goes, that's right. So my lady across the street from me was an architect. So I said, this is what I got a little bit. Now, she wasn't a graphic artist. She was an architect. So she kind of drew it out a little bit. I said, yeah, that's kind of cool, but that ain't what I want. So I got a hold of my buddy I had in school, graphic artist, one of the best in the country. And I gave him the idea, and guess what? He came back.
Mm-hmm.
There it was. So I said, all right, I'm going to print some shirts. And I'll be dang if old Cole wasn't right. Those things went like hotcakes. Now, they've been on the stove for a while. I broke them out for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But if I break them out, they're going again.
Yeah.
I break them out after this podcast. Guess
Mm-hmm.
what? And on the back, it tells you what it is. Believe in yourself, achieve the right mindset, and stay motivated through the process.
Nice.
And that's the formula
Mm-hmm.
to bam, son.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that every day, you're going to have a great day. I do it every day.
We may need
Every
to
day.
we may need to take this logo and make some stickers or something.
Oh, I got it. Oh, I'll send it to you. You can put it out. Oh, I got it everywhere. But you'd love it. And I haven't seen it in a while, and these kids have it. I got it in every different color in the rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
And but that's how the word came about. And it's probably never, ever going to go away. And I'll send you one time. You're going to die on this one. Had this little girl from Logan, West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And she is in here, and she's a firecracker. She had on her little Logan shirt. She had on a sweatband. And so what I said to her, I said, what do you got to say about that? And she goes, bam, son. Woo, woo, woo. So I've got this video. You have to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Once I see it, oh, you'll go wild. So now when I go at my house and I go, my little granddaughters, one's 4, one's 6. I go, the one that's 4, I go, bam, son. She goes, woo! And
Nice.
what's everybody do? They smile. They laugh.
Mm-hmm.
They take the edge off.
Oh, yeah.
And really, that's the key.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't take life so seriously.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the little things. It's those little victories that we get every day. Not the big victories. We'll see those down the road.
Yeah.
But all those little success stories, I call them little victories.
Mm-hmm.
And all those little victories, you know what they do? They add up.
Oh, yes.
And if you don't pay attention to the little things, don't worry about the big ones. This ain't going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants the big one.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want to take the steps. And in my world, there's no elevator to the penthouse. There's just steps.
Oh, yeah.
And we got to take the steps. And when you step from one step to the next one, you're leaving people where they are. And you're stepping on people that are happy where they are. So you're leaving something behind to get to the next step. And every time you step, you're leaving somebody to go to the next one. And all the room is where? It's at the top.
Yeah.
What's the most overcrowded place in America? The bottom. Doesn't take much effort to be on the bottom.
Right.
And everybody gets that when you tell them.
Mm-hmm.
But they think that. I say it comes back to your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Your mindset. Is it open or is it closed? And if it's open, man, sky's the limit for you. And that's kind of how it all came about.
Awesome. So we're going to close this one up. Before we do, though, I want to give a shout out real quick. As you listen to the open on this show, there was some music playing there in the background. Kind of sounded a little bit, like Jackson Brown there. Had a nice beat to it,
Good
nice
pump
rhythm to it.
man. Good pump.
And just want to give a shout out to my brother. I have a twin brother for people who don't know me, and he works in education. He works in technology and education as well. He was a math teacher for several years, but he's also a musician. And then I said, hey, I got an idea. I need some help. Jim and I are wanting to do this podcast, and we need some music. And he's like, okay, tell me what you're looking for. And I laid it out to him, and I don't know why, but for some reason I said, how about something that's kind of Southern rock? And his reply back was, are we talking like Leonard Skinner, or are we talking like the Allman Brothers? And I went, Southern rock was not what I meant. I said, I'm thinking more like that Southern California country rock sound. He's like, okay. I said, the Eagles, early Eagles, before Don Felder came in. He's like, okay. I said, maybe Jackson Brown. And it's like that light bulb went off, and he went, got it. And a couple days later, he sent me just a basic MIDI file. He's like, what do you think of this? And I was like, okay, that's good. And I sent it to Jim, and Jim's like, yeah, this is going to be good.
Off the charts. It was off the charts.
He worked on it, put that together, and we want to, give a big shout out and thank him for that. Rick, you did a great job, and we appreciate that.
Love it.
Appreciate it. And we, it sets the tone on the show. It builds us in, and it's gonna catch you here on the way out. here in a second when we close out the show. But come back each week. We're going to be here. We're going to be spreading this message, building up these life lessons and sharing them with you here on Shooting It Straight. If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe, share it with someone who needs a boost, and follow us online at shootingitstraightpodcast.com. That's where you'll find every episode, updates, and more.
In life, just like in a game, it's not about being perfect. It's about showing up, putting in the work, and taking your shot when it counts. And remember, keep shooting it straight. Bam, son!